If you want to grab our men's lifestyle supplement and male advantage ebook, all links are in the bio. And when I say you have to sacrifice something like women, they go, who? But what do you mean? And I'm like, well, you're going to have to bum around. You're going to have to wear shit clothes. You're not going to be able to get your hair cut for like 3 months. You can only get it cut like twice, 3 times a year, whatever. And they're like, wait, hang on, but I'm going to look like shit. Yeah, and you see that car that you've got, that nice one? Oh yeah, I saved up for that. Cost me 12,000. Yeah, you're going to have to sell it. No, but I can't sell it. I get so many women because of that car, and all my friends think I'm rich, and everyone they're not willing to do it. They're not willing to do it, and this is the decision of stick and twist. Okay guys, welcome back to another video. In this video, we're going to be talking about one of my favorite ever concepts, which is stick or twist. It's the hardest decision ever in a man's life, okay? And you might get this decision multiple times, but it usually happens in your 20s, okay? It usually happens in your 20s, where, let me break this down. There's so many guys that I speak to that I say to them, you know, they ask a couple questions like, how do you get to this position in life? How will I get to this position? How do I make things better? And I always say you have to sacrifice everything. You pretty much have to give up. It's in my ebook. I've written this exact line that you have the men who give up their teens and 20s in favor of their 30s, 40s, and 50s will forever outrank the men that don't. Okay, or in so many words. I don't know if it's the outrank thing, but you get my point, okay? And that's what I tell them, that they're going to have to give up their teens and 20s in order to build a better life moving forward. Because being the man at 25 isn't even close to being the man at 35 because of the added heights that you can hit. And this is what so many guys do. They're presented with an opportunity where they know what they should do, but they don't do it. Okay? And this is what I say to so many guys out there in the comments. And I love having these chats because I know it's about to change their life, what I'm about to say. And you can see it, you can kind of either see it on their face or you can see it in the comments that they reply back to you. Because sometimes I do one-to-ones for free with people. That's not a call out to everybody to message me for one-to-ones. I only do it with people that I've been talking to for like a year or whatever. I'd just be too busy, okay? Sorry about that, guys. But, you know, they'll ask questions like, how do I get to that height? How do I get to these heights? How do I improve my money? How do I get to this point that I want to be at? And when I say you have to sacrifice something like women, they go, who? But what do you mean? And I'm like, well, you're going to have to bum around. You're going to have to wear shit clothes. You're not going to be able to get your hair cut for like 3 months. You can only get it cut like twice, 3 times a year, whatever. And they're like, wait, hang on, but I'm going to look like shit. Yeah, and you see that car that you've got, that nice one? Oh yeah, I saved up for that. Cost me 12,000. Yeah, you're going to have to sell it. No, but I can't sell it. I get so many women because of that car, and all my friends think I'm rich, and everyone they're not willing to do it. They're not willing to do it, and this is the decision of stick and twist. You're in a scenario, and anybody who's not played cards is basically, let's say if you're trying to get to 21, which is the goal, if you get to, let's say, 15, you can stick or twist. You can decide to stick on 15, or you can say, hey, twist, and they'll deal you another card. You look at that card, hopefully it's a 6, you know, you're on 21, bang, done. You win the game, right? As long as nobody else has also got 21. This is the nature of life, okay? So let's picture 21 as being like the male advantage when you're at your absolute peak, when things could be amazing. But most guys are at like a 12, okay? Like an 8 to 12. They're like just middle of the board or just below average, and they're just kind of worming around in life, and they get presented with a decision. Do you want to improve on this, or do you want to cash out on what you've got and see where it can get you? And sadly, most guys say, well, I've got a 9-to-5 job, I've got a little bit of money coming in now, I've got enough to get a mortgage and to get a car on finance. And what that does is that presents to the world this false impression that you're doing very well for yourself. And what it also does is it attracts women, it gets other men to give you respect, it makes you look better, you feel better about yourself, it strokes your ego very nicely, but in reality it actually does nothing for you. But so many guys cannot make that sacrifice. They're not willing to do what I've done, which is wear all the same clothes for like 3 years. Okay, I've got enough money to wear Gucci every single day. I'm not going to do that. Okay, I've spent thousands on my supplement. I've spent thousands on my website. I've spent thousands on crypto. I could have bought some nice clothes. I could have got a hair transplant. I could have got my ears pinned back, for example. I think that one's a little bit bigger than that one, I guess. So you can see what I mean if you're thinking, why would you do that? You know, I could have got all my teeth crowned and done and, you know, put in as veneers or whatever. Guys, what would it all be for? You know, that would be me sticking where I am right now and saying, I'm going to get a mortgage. I'm going to get a really nice car because I want people to think I'm doing great. I'm going to get a hair transplant because I'm insecure and I want people to think I'm really good looking right now. You know, I'm going to buy the nicest clothes so that I don't look like a bum. You're just sticking where you're at. You're not moving forward. You're cashing in on what you currently have. You're at a level where you're at a level where you can afford a 10 grand car. Okay, you're at a level where you can attract sixes in terms of women. You're at a level where you can wear certain level of clothes that are just above average. You're at a level where the house that you can get is like a 2-bedroom apartment. Okay, is that the life that you've always dreamed of? For a lot of guys, probably not. I would say probably not. But they cash in. And the reason they cash in is they cannot deal with that darkness of saying, I am going to look like shit. I'm going to have nothing. I'm going to give the impression to the world that I am a bum. Everybody's going to think lesser of me. Everybody's going to judge me. Women aren't going to be attracted to me. Other men are going to be thinking they're better than me and they're going to look better than me, whatever. But long term, I'm going to win. Okay, this isn't halftime. This is the end of the game. That's where I'm going to win. I'm going to win at life. I'm not going to win at this year. That's what a lot of guys are doing. 2021, this summer is going to be my summer. I'm going to sleep with this many women. I'm going to buy these clothes. I'm going to get a haircut. I'm going to do it. Guys, you're unloading your whole gas tank. You're sticking where you're at. You're saying, hey, I can't go into the darkness. I don't know what's on the other side. It's a risk. I'm going to take what's currently available right now with my current budget, my current life, my current abilities. I'm not gonna sacrifice everything and be willing to grow to get to the next level. I'm just gonna take what I've got now. You know, rather than gambling it all on the net. And it's not even a gamble. It's pretty much a certainty in life if you work on yourself that things are gonna get better. But people see it as a gamble. They're like, yeah, but I can get this house now. I can get this car on finance now, which will attract a woman now, which means I can get her pregnant now, which means I can start a family, get married, and everyone thinks I'm accomplished. That's a stick. That is a stick mentality. You're just sticking where you are, where you're at. That's what you're doing. You're saying, this is my life. You're not rolling that dice and saying, fuck it, I'll go further. Like, I broke up. I say it in a mutual sense. Me and my girlfriend broke up, okay? And the conversation was, what do you want out of life? Well, she wanted kids, marriage, you know, mortgage, etc., and go down that route. And I was like, well, I want to really push forward with my business, and I can see myself, because it's a streaming platform, I can see myself being a billionaire, okay? And don't get me wrong, guys, I've said before, I don't want to sit on my deathbed and be like, I was a billionaire, yes, and nothing else. But what I'm saying is the possibilities and the freedoms that would open up, and the amount of potential that I believe I have in life and where I could reach, I want to tick that box. I want to see how far I can go. Okay, so me and my ex, we were on different timelines. She wanted to go and do this sort of thing. I wanted to go and do that sort of thing. I could have stuck. I could have said, beautiful woman. Okay, she's Indian Caribbean. You can imagine how beautiful she is, and she's thick as well. Like, you can imagine as a man how like attractive that would be as an idea to stay with. You know, get married, have kids. Everyone's like, he's the man. He's doing well for himself. I chose to twist. I chose to roll that dice again and say, let's go for it. Let's see what else I can do. Let's see how far I can go. Let's see what I can achieve. Okay? Because I know that all of that it's fantastic, but it's not my peak. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying her as in the woman. I would happily, if I got to my peak, still be with her, but have other things obviously in my life, whatever. But what I'm saying is I don't believe I could have done everything at once. I don't believe I could have been in a relationship, been a good boyfriend, been a good dad, funded everything, and lived my dreams all at the same time. Like, one was going to lose out. And because it's family, you know, I'm not going to disregard my kids. My business would have had to have missed out. My fitness probably would have slacked a little bit. I don't want that. I want to see how far I can go in life, my potential. I twist. That's what I do. I took another punt. I'm not one of these soft little pussies that sits there and says, oh yeah, I know, but I don't know if I get rid of her, is there anybody else? Guys, of course there's somebody else. And there's much better women out there. Right now, here's the game. Here's the entire game. Right now, you cannot get them. And that's why so many guys are scared. Yeah, but if I get rid of this girl right now, I'll never attract another one better. Yeah, right now. And that's why you're a fanny. Because if you put the work in, if you got rid of that scenario, put the work in, sacrifice money, time, everything, look like a bum for 2, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, whatever it might be, sacrificed all the money and put it into something that's actually going to grow and go forward in the future. Dress like a bum, let your hair grow out, whatever. Or like me, just fucking razor blade the lot off. You know, obviously I've gone bald, but there was a point where to be honest, if I let it grow back, there's quite a lot of hair, to be honest. There's just like a bald patch there and something else. Instead of paying for haircuts to kind of make it look a little bit better, give me the razor blade, it's cheaper, I'll shave it all off. I don't give a fuck. If I'm 36, rich and bald, you know, I might sit there and think, well, fuck it, I'll pay for a hair transplant. Like at that point, you can do those things. Life's up to you at that point. But in these early years, you've got to be willing to go through that darkness, the uncertainty, the unknown years, where you say, I'm going to sacrifice everything I've currently got to cash in for something better. With the knowledge that right now you cannot get something better. Do you know how scary that is, guys? Do you know how scary that is? And most guys do not have the big fucking nuts to pull that off. That's the problem. They don't want to roll that dice because they're petrified of what happens next. They have a scarcity mindset. If I lose her, I will never get someone better. If I don't buy a house and a car now, I will never get there in the future. Or instant gratification, I want it now so that I can get a partner because I'm scared of being alone forever and I want everyone to think I'm doing well and I'm petrified that people won't and I'm coming up to 30 now. Shit, you know, this is how people live. You've got to relax. You've got to relax and trust in the process. You've got to twist. You got to be on 15 and saying, give me a fucking another card, let's see what it is. And you might go bust, but at least you fucking tried, right? But I guarantee you, it's not like cards. This isn't like gambling. This is life. It's a little bit different, okay? If you put in that work, if you dedicate, if you make calculated decisions, if you avoid the landmines that I constantly talk about in the Male Advantage ebook, okay? Of marriage, having kids too early, getting a mortgage when you shouldn't have, you know, putting all your money in property, renting it out, not making a lot of money. You know, little things like that where people... It's kind of the normal life where people are telling you, oh, do this, do this, do this is smart, but nobody's rich. Nobody's got a good life. Nobody's doing what they want to do. You know, not getting in the gym young, not lifting heavy weights young and thinking, oh, I don't want to get too big, I want to do kind of... If you don't tick all these necessary boxes and do the correct things at the correct time, then things will go wrong. But if you do stick in that process, if you do trust in it, if you do attack it like a monster, if you do go for that outlier male mindset and say, today, I am not where I want to be, and I'm not willing to settle. But tomorrow, I will be in a much better scenario, and then my rewards will arrive. Okay? Because it happens to every guy. Let's say, for example, you do go through a breakup. Okay? There's multiple times where you will get lonely. You will sit there and you will think, God, I want somebody who is on the level of the previous girl that I had. You know, ooh, do I go lower just for the sake of just satisfying myself? No. You stay high. You keep those goals high, okay? Until you can get there. Now, there might be a woman who's out of reach right now. You'll be able to get her one day. You know, you're not in the perfect shape that you want to be in right now. And there's a certain woman or a certain lifestyle that's in line with that. But you want to be in better shape and you know you can go higher. Well, you got to sit that out. You got to sit that out for 3-4 years. You're looking at a certain house and you think, it's not really the house I want to live in. It's a bit shit, actually. I've always dreamed of being in that house, but I don't really have the money to be in that house. I'll settle for that house over there because it's going to get me the woman, it's going to get me the kids, and everyone's going to think I'm doing well. Pressure's going to go off my back. My parents will think I'm doing well for myself. If that's not the fucking house that you want, and you know that in your heart of hearts, you gotta sacrifice for 3-4 years and go for that house that you really wanted. You got to live in the mud and the shit. There's no point going to getting a car on finance and getting the cheapest mortgage you can just so you can say, I've got my own house and a BMW. This life isn't an ego trip. That's not what it's about. It's about personal happiness. And if your personal happiness is a fucking penthouse on the moon, well, you're going to have to put that work in. You know, now some people are happy with less, but you still have a level. And until you get there, you're just kidding yourself. And that's what so many guys do. I'll get with this woman because at least it's regular sex. I find her hotter. I actually would rather be with her. But, you know, it's somebody. I really want that car, but this one's cheaper and it's still good and people will still think I'm wealthy. Guys, what are we doing? What are we doing? Aim for the life that you actually want. You got to have this middle section. You got to have dreams, sacrifices, accomplishments. You can't have dreams, settle, never get to the heights that you want to get to. Because that's how everybody lives. That's how everybody lives. And you're probably all at the age now where you're in your 20s, whatever, and you've got a decision to make. All your friends are going out and getting drunk. Lockdown's about to end. All your friends are going out and getting drunk. They're all chasing after women. They're all buying new cars. They're all getting houses. They're all having kids, etc. They're not at the point that they want to be at. They're all making sacrifices. Sorry, they're not making sacrifices. They're all buying new clothes. They're buying a nice new watch. They don't have the money to get these things. Or they do, but it leaves them on zero. Leaves their bank account on zero. You've got to make a decision. Are you going to stick and stay at that mediocrity level of having things that are lower than the standards that you actually wanted to be at, but they make you feel good and they stroke your ego a little bit? Or are you willing to fucking twist, sit it out in the mud and the darkness for a couple of years in order to reach a much better life, the one that you actually want, and achieve true happiness? Stick or twist. If you want to grab our men's lifestyle supplement and male advantage ebook, all links are in the bio.